Hi, how's it going? I'm Alex Restrepo here, and I got Anthony Cusimano with me, and we're talking Veritas Enterprise Data Services Platform. And today we're focusing in deeper dive into part of the protection pillar. So what are we showing here there, Anthony?
So we're going to take a look at RBAC, or Role-Based Access Control, that has been implemented inside of the Veritas NetBackup 8.2 interface. So one of the really neat things that they've built out here inside of the new web GUI is a way to dole out permissions, not just at a access level, not just at a role level, but at an object level. So we can really ensure that everyone has just the right amount of privileges to protect and manage their workload. So we don't dole out too much.
No, I like it. I like nothing more than excluding people. So
Yes, this is the most exclusive option there is.
Yeah, let's see how we can do this.
Definitely. So we're going to start inside object groups. So right now we have an object group that is all objects. So that's your admin level. He's going to have access to everything. Yeah. But let's say we want to be a little more exclusive. We don't want him to touch just about everything in the infrastructure.
I mean, if we know anything about Vegas, it's that it's VIP inside of VIP inside of VIP.
Right. We want to gate some of this stuff.
Of course.
Keep the riffraff out.
Yeah.
So we can add workloads, and you can see we can do of type VMware, RHV, cloud. So we'll just do cloud. And we can add conditions inside of those specific things. So we could say cloud workloads that start with Anthony or Alex. So we only have access to our VMs inside the cloud. We can also add things like servers, protection plans. So everything that's granular within NetBackup itself can also be given a permission inside of our object group.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool logical way to lock people out of accessing things they shouldn't have access to.
This also seems like real easy to set up.
It is. Because
I've set up a Facebook profile and this looks similar.
It is actually very similar. You have sort of that level of what privacy do you want or not want? What do you want people to be able to see and not see about your profile? Same exact thing, but for workloads inside of your infrastructure.
Gotcha.
So let's just give it a name. We'll call it Anthony Cloud, since we care about cloud workloads. We're going to chase this workload specifically, add this object group. So now we have a brand new group created. So let's say we had a role. Right now we have the default, which is workload security and backup administrator. But we want an administrator that focuses on cloud and maybe have Anthony and Alex workloads. So as we build out more object groups, we can feed those into these roles. So let's add a new role, cloud, Anthony, Alex. So here you can see all, partial, or none is the option to select for each of these various role permissions. So things like recovery point management, security management, protection plan management. We can dole out access based on what we want them to or not be able to access inside of this role.
So that's pretty cool. So as an example, if I wanted to give somebody peace of mind that their workload was protected, but I didn't want them kicking off a bunch of restore jobs, I could do that.
Yes. So it's like I can view this thing, I can manage this thing, I can delete this thing. This is where you're really getting to kind of put the rubber to the road.
Cool.
So we're just going to check off some options here. We're going to say you can manage assets. Let's go into RBAC and say that they can create roles. So this is kind of a weird one. They're not allowed to manage and access everything, but they can create roles that will allow them to manage and access everything. Probably not the best idea, but we do have that level of granularity.
You're getting real crazy with it,
You
man.
can get crazy with it.
You're getting crazy with it.
You tailor it to your needs inside your organization. So now we've got our role built. Last thing we can do is give them access rules. So this is sort of the top level that we want to create here. So this really just allows you to tie it into a user or group. So as you build out NetBackup domains or logical clusters inside of sites, now we can say this role has access to this NetBackup location.
I got you. I got you.
Sort of your final frontier. We're just going to assign us here. We're just going to use the domain that's part of this instance here. And we can select our object group, Anthony Cloud, and we're just going to call this domain veritas.local. Click save. It's probably going to throw a little fit because that's not the actual domain, and that's fine. But this is where you'd basically come to the stop of creating your role-based access, and you would finally be able to define all permissions, all access for all of your infrastructure.
Nice. Well, thanks a lot for taking us through role-based access control, or RBAC.